Hello, and thanks for watching Focus, a show that focuses on community, unity, and service, featuring local nonprofits and community heroes. I'm Chris Giard. Our next featured nonprofit is Operation Fuel. Their primary purpose is to provide year-round emergency energy assistance to every city and town in Connecticut, aided by a statewide network of local fuel banks. My guest is Brenda Watson, the Executive Director of Operation Fuel. Welcome, Brenda.
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for having me.
So let's start off by telling our audience a little background info and history of Operation Fuel, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. I love talking about the history of this organization. We were founded a little over 40 years ago by then Governor Ella Grasso, who saw a need for folks who were struggling with their home heating costs, but did not qualify for the state's energy assistance program because their income was slightly higher. Even though they were still working poor, their incomes were too high to be eligible. So she started Operation Fuel with the business and religious community. And it was supposed to be a temporary program, but here we are, 40 plus years later, we've evolved to not only help with home heating, but we also help with electricity throughout the entire year. And we also help with water utilities. And we also have a home system repair and replacement program in which we assist folks with replacing a boiler, a water heater, or furnace.
Great. Now, approximately how many members of the state do you help on an annual basis? Households, or I think that's probably how you would.
Yeah, you got it, Chris. It really all depends on the amount of resources we have. So the more resources we have, the more households we're able to help. So anywhere between 4,000 to 8,000 households a year is the number of assistance that we provide. And you were correct in your intro in that we do provide assistance across the state. So if you're living in Connecticut and struggling with your home energy costs, you can go to our website, www.operationfuel.org. We have two ways in which people can apply for our assistance. One is by going to our website and going to our fuel finder. Type in the name of the town or city that you live in, and the intake site that's closest to you will pop up. The other way to apply is to go to our website and access our public portal. We have an application online that's available to folks 24/7 for as long as you have a computer and access to the internet. You can apply for assistance without having to make an appointment. However, some people feel more comfortable meeting with someone who is knowledgeable about the programs and other energy assistance programs that folks can potentially be eligible for. We wanted to offer folks a choice in seeking assistance and not have to wait.
So we're just started off 2021 and we're getting into the colder months, and COVID-19 has impacted so many people in our country. Have you already noticed an increase of energy assistance requests for this year?
So when the shutdown first occurred in March of 2020, that's when we saw the increase. Folks were panicking because they were unfortunately being laid off from work or worse. So we saw a jump between March and the end of our program season, which ended a lot later because of COVID in June. And then in the summer, when we resumed our programming starting in July, we served nearly 2,000 households from July through the end of October, providing $1 million in grants, direct bill payment assistance. And that was high for us. So we restarted our winter season, which opened on December 1st. It's been a little slow, and we think that's largely due to the fact that the utility companies have also responded well to this pandemic and have, along with our regulatory body in the state, ensured that folks were protected. So there is a winter moratorium, protections for folks. So I think that's probably playing a part in why we're a bit slow. We are still getting heating assistance applications and for folks who need fuel. But what we suspect is going to happen is when we get closer to the end of that moratorium is when we're going to see another jump, because right now folks are protected and they've got a few months to catch up. And I'm hoping that folks are able to catch up, but if they're not, come to Operation Fuel and hopefully we can help you.
That's great. Obviously, besides the pandemic affecting the residents of the state, how did it affect your organization? I heard that some of you are working at the office and some are working remotely. What are some of the things you had to pivot the way you normally operate once the pandemic hit?
Yeah, that's what we did was we shifted folks who didn't necessarily need to be in the office to work from home. So that's our policy director and our marketing director and our grant writer. But we are an essential service, so we had to stay open. And there's just work that we can't physically do at home. The infrastructure is just not there. We were able to pivot in that in addition to having half of the staff work remote, we staggered the staff that were coming into the office so that we minimized the amount of potential contact. And we also, had to make some, like many other organizations, had to make some infrastructure changes with, adding glass partitions and things like that to protect people that are coming into the office. I've been lucky enough to also, be able to kind of like as a captain of the ship, I'm here every day, and it does feel good to be able to come into the office, but it really is hard in that COVID stress has impacted the staff outside of work. Trying to be aware of what folks can do to kind of take care of themselves and reminding people that, do the best that you can. Yes, we are an essential basic need and, our level of service, we must maintain that. However, if you need a break, take a break. Yeah. If you need to walk outside, just get up and go for a walk, stretch your legs. So we've done things here to kind of help folks with the self-care, but it's been hard.
I know your employees in what Operation Fuel stands for, you guys focus a lot on advocacy and education. So how has that impacted their ability to do kind of outreach to the residents?
Yeah, that's been tough too. I would say between the period of April through last fall, there were a lot of Zoom meetings and a lot of outreach via Zoom, and it's been difficult for us to get out into the community. But like I said, the utility companies, the Public Utility Regulatory Authority, and the state agency like DPH and DEEP, Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, really everyone just really kicked it up and came together. In addition to providing the many informational Zoom calls we had, it was just this level of support that we had for each other and wanting to ensure that the folks that we serve, the most vulnerable, continue to get the assistance that they need. But now we have a whole new subset of vulnerable folks that we'd never seen before because, folks don't typically seek assistance when they're working and don't need it. So I'm very proud of living in such a great state that cares about the people that it serves. And of course, I have to thank the folks at Cox for always sending Operation Fuel updates on the different programs that you all are offering to ensure that people have access to, fast, reliable internet. So thank you to the folks at Cox as well.
Appreciate that. I know fundraising has got to be completely different now too. I know there's one easy thing people can do that maybe a lot of people just kind of skip over when you're paying your monthly bill is that Add a Dollar program.
Yes.
Maybe talk a little bit about that, the percentage of how it impacts your annual budget, and then other means of fundraising that you have now had to use as well.
Yes, so the Add a Dollar program was established in 1983. That was in collaboration with the utility companies and our state legislature. So we're written into law to receive 100% of the Add a Dollar enrollments by customers. And we usually raise around $400,000 to $500,000 a year from that program, but we have seen an uptick in the last few years. I believe this was a banner year for us in which we raised about $630,000 from that program.
Oh, great.
So it's very significant. However, we're only reaching about 4% of the entire state with that program. And I think that there's just a lot of confusion around it. You know, folks, when they do come across it on their bill, they're not sure, you know, where the money goes or how to enroll. So the easiest way to learn more about that, you can also go to our website to learn about the Add a Dollar program. And 100% of the money goes right back out into the community. So when a customer adds $1, they're helping their neighbor, they're helping a family member who might be on the other side of the state. You know, we're very proud of the amount of money that's being raised this year, but we know that there's more potential for folks who it's the easiest way to give. And like I said, 100% of it goes right back out into the community. We use zero for admin or overhead costs. And the utilities are not using it either. The utilities give it right back to us.
And I think that's part of, you know, the misconception. And it'd be great, just personal opinion, if there was a way to, can I add a little bit more than $1 too? So
you can actually, okay, if you go to Eversource UI, their website, you can add either $1, $5, or $10. Okay. So you can add more. And I also want to just shout out Wallingford Electric and Norwich Public Utilities and Jewett City Utilities who voluntarily run the program for us.
Yeah, because isn't there like a certain amount of subscribers that are required to have this? So they stepped up and did that even when they don't have to, huh? Correct.
So state mandates any utility company that's under the auspices of PURA with 75,000 customers or more are mandated to run the Add a Dollar program.
Excellent. Another thing we like to talk about on Focus is volunteering, or how can people get involved? I know so much has changed. I don't know if you can talk a little bit about that, if there is opportunities for people to get involved.
Yes. I would love for volunteers who are interested in data and tech. That's a piece that I find is missing within our organization. And, you know, we simply just don't have the funds to be able to hire, you know, a GIS tech or a data specialist. But, you know, if there's anyone out there who is a data geek or a GIS geek and needs to keep their certificates, you know, their CEU certificates active and want to volunteer, please call or email me, because I love being able to put our data into maps to show our impact, to show that on a statewide level, we are making a difference across this great state that we live in. But I'm also really interested in learning more about our carbon footprint as an organization. So if there are folks out there who are interested in kind of, you know, jumping in and volunteering their time to help us with that, that would be great.
Excellent. Yeah, I think, you know, the environmental impact is, you know, something that needs attention as well. So
yes. Yep.
Real quick before we wrap it up, I'd like to ask people, now more than ever, what are you thankful for? And this can be personally or from an organizational standpoint.
Now more than ever, I'm thankful for my health, thankful for my family. I'm actually privileged and honored to be able to lead this organization. And I'm privileged and honored to do it with such a dedicated team of folks. The people that work here are just amazing. And that's what I'm most grateful for.
Brenda Watson is the Executive Director at Operation Fuel. Thank you so much for being a guest on Focus, and best of luck in 2021 to you.
Thank you so much, Chris, and I appreciate you having us on, and welcome to come. I'm happy to come back anytime.
Excellent. Appreciate it.